Welcome everybody, it's Tractorchute here for Whacked Out Wednesday, where it is some nuts weather outside right now. We are getting thunderous roars and a lot of lightning up here where I live here, so may lose the power, but we will do our best. We have a new submitter today there, and we're going to get a little 2v2 action. In the upper middle portion of the map here, we have, for the team of GyTm, Banyo. Banyo will be representing the red Zerg, and the blue Protoss is our submitter of the day here. His name is Sage. He plays as well for GyTm. So two teammates going up against two other gold players. Down in the bottom middle of the map there, as the aqua color, is VoiD playing as Aqua Zerg. The purple Terran will be represented by ghyzmo. I can tell you VoiD and ghyzmo were level 90 and 88. Not that that means a lot, but you got to take it into consideration because it just gives you an idea of how much time and games they put in, whether it be against AI or actual team games. The two at the top were unranked, but Sage has let me know that he is a platinum level player. Unranked in 2v2, of course. All right, we will get this baby going with Sage dropping down the pylon at the front entrance of the base for GyTm. And we will also go down here and see a little bit of Overlord scouting happening for Banyo. And it does appear that Sage is planting a probe over here. Not entirely sure what he intends to do with that probe, but it will sit over here for a little bit. Banyo is doing a little bit of bugging on the other end of here. We do have the spawning pool going down for VoiD here. So nothing too special out of him. That spawning pool looks like it was timed at about 7 or 8 drones. So probably not going to get too much of a rush here. Over here we do have the supply depot with the barracks going down for ghyzmo here. A couple overlords going around the map here. Very good practice if you play a Zerg to spread your overlords out. Use them for vision. Don't just put them in the corner and use them for absolutely nothing. They will also sit over here and send another one down here. VoiD obviously has the super duper cool looking skin here as he's sending his overlord down to the other end of the map as well. It does look like Sage is going to wall this up with a gateway and a pylon. Not too sure if we're going to say a forge and a cannon. Don't have anything going up yet. We do have the early gas being laid down for Banyo here. The spawning pool is just getting out. So did get gas before the spawning pool. But not entirely sure why, as he didn't start mining off it until now. But fair enough. Maybe he's going into a roach hydra build or something that requires very minimal gas. We will soon find out here. And it does look like the cybercore and gateway will provide the wall off for Sage here for his team. Do have an early expo happening for ghyzmo here. I'm not entirely sure if that ended up getting scouted or not here. Let's see. No, it did not get scouted, so they have no idea of the early expo for our Terran player here, ghyzmo there. So he's going to get a bit of a macro boost here with that going down right there. Overlord standing here do have a couple Marines as well as a couple dogs for the bottom team here. Can't name because they don't have a clan, but fair enough. We will go through the count here. We have no offensive units for our team up here of GyTm. I keep forgetting what their clan tag is. Do have the little bit of a hidden expansion for Banyo there. Not a bad idea when you are playing team games. He does get that hidden down there. Are getting a couple more gateways. So are going a quick 4-gate, getting warp gate technology out is Sage. So very well done so far in the macro game. This does get scouted though. The SCV of ghyzmo will sit there for a few hours until he takes this out, but the dogs will intercept that. VoiD is sending down to get rid of that SCV so that will not get killed. They are planning a bunker at the bottom of the ramp here to kind of protect the expansion as well as protect their main ramp to the main base. There's the dogs there. These dogs are going to take out the expansion of Banyo. Sorry, it was the dogs coming up to help take it out. I thought they were opposite teams. Boy, I am tired. Just got off work. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. All right, that does get a good cancel by Banyo, so he was alert enough to get that all canceled up there. So no expos going out for GyTm yet. We do have a few dogs of Banyo here on the map now, so do have some offensive units on the map here. Just 22 drones for Sage, so no offensive units yet. Does have only the 3 miners on gas. It is now saturating up the second gas as we speak. There's a bunch of dogs going around for VoiD. They're making sure that the other team is not expanded. GyTm is stuck on one base right now, and ghyzmo is starting to mule count up the natural. So they are getting quite the macro boost in this game here and will be ahead as far as that goes so far. They do also have a fairly decent unit count there as well here. We do have something beating on it here. It does look like a Baneling came up there and ran into the pylon. Not entirely sure why, but it does look like he's going to start the Baneling bust. We do have a lot of Banelings coming out for VoiD here. Let's count up these. We do have 3, 6, and one more is 7. So we're going to have 7 banelings. They should be able to get through that. Thank goodness stalkers have come out for Sage. He's going to get on the front line here. He's going to try and come down the ramp here. He will run into this army. Not too sure if he's going to engage it. They do run all of their banelings into there, or at least a few of them in there. They have a few more left. They try and get them out there. Lots of dogs up there. Do have a lot of banelings. They take out the pylon. Unpowers both gateways, so does hurt them a little bit there. It does appear that Warp Gate technology did finish. Banyo is chasing down VoiD's dogs here, so they will try and get them all taken care of. Sage has dropped a proxy pylon in the meantime, so very well done by Sage to be alert to get that done. We do have this Overlord for VoiD scouting up here. Absolutely nothing. You can see the very edge of this mineral patch. Really needs to keep him up there more than less. He's going to move into the base every now and then just to kind of see where his opponents are at. Doesn't look like that proxy pylon has been scouted yet, but they do scout the expansion over here, so very well done by GyTm there as they take that expansion out before it manages to get up. Sage does have some units on the map here. Someone is pinging that though. We do have a lot of units moving up here. Dogs are moving back to the base for Banyo there, and banelings and dogs come over to this expansion. They are too late getting up some more banelings, so they're still intent on knocking that wall down. We are going to take over the viewpoint, so GyTm does own the map vision right now, so very well done by them. We are warping in a lot of stalkers at the other end of the map here, so they are getting ready to move in here pretty quick, I would have to imagine. More stalkers. Not too sure if we're going to get any zealots to work as a meat shield, but we're going straight stalkers right now here. They're going to try and move in. They do have the one bunker up there. That bunker will go down here shortly. There goes the bunker down here. A lot of dogs coming over here. Imagine these banelings will move over pretty quick. They're over here. They don't have baneling speed yet as they are going fairly slow. They are kind of electing what they want to do here. Should be able to knock down this engineering bay. They're repairing it with 2 SCVs. Might want to knock down those SCVs quickly, but at the same time, Banyo was knocking down a lot of SCVs, so very well done. Very good attack by both of them. One of them taking out the front and the other one taking out the back, getting all the SCV kills. So very well done by them here. Let's see if anything special. We do have upgrades for Banyo coming up here on the melee level 1. We do have a layer technology coming up for VoiD, so very good, getting teched up right away as he's trying to get out his expansion here. Being bothered again by Banyo and Sage. They're going to come over here and try and stop this one here. They're already behind the base, so the more they can prevent VoiD from getting his expansion out, the better. You have a lot of banelings going in there. Not the best idea to run into a ton of stalkers. Protoss units really do absorb banelings very, very well, as you can see there. Now you do have a lot of stalkers. Roach is now hitting the field for Banyo here, so very well done by Banyo. Very good teamwork done so far by this team, keeping these guys contained to the 3 bases they have on them. I would have to imagine Sage or Banyo is going to expand pretty soon, as they are going to need to, because the further they get into the game, the more they're going to start to fall behind. That Zealot's in the way of Sage there. Banyo can't get out of the base there. He's probably pissed off right now. There we go. He does move that Zealot out of the way here. We do have a dog chasing down Gizmo's little SCV who's walked around the map. We do have a fairly decent stalker count now. 12 stalkers and 13 roaches for GyTm. At the other end, we do have the 5 tanks on the map with the 1 Marauder and no offensive units for VoiD other than the Queen so far. So we will see what he's going to go. As I say, he does have layer technology, and he is electing to go with... look like anything special, just getting the Roach worn out more than likely so he can get his next building. Do get the saturate pretty good. Does have 16 workers down on the natural there. Does Gizmo there, so very well done. Now the expansion's laid down for Banyo, so good for him there. This Overlord cannot quite see that expansion, but he will be there to move in whenever he chooses to do so, as I don't believe, no, he cannot see it at all. So there's no idea it's there. Once they do figure it out, then they will have an idea. You always want to know how many expansions your opponents have, so you kind of know where you lie economy-wise. So very well done. Sage is now moving out at the same time, getting his expansion up there. Still no forge out of him here, so it does not look like he's going for upgrades. There's the forge right on cue. Knock on wood. There goes the forge. There are a lot of roaches out in the field now. We have 8, 16, and 6 is 22. Or we can just look up top. 22 Mothership Core. A little bit late for Sage, but fair enough. Mothership Core does make its way onto the map here. We do have a lot of roaches for VoiDs and a lot of tanks, so they're going very heavily on the ground is the bottom team here. And we do finally get that Nexus finish at the natural for Sage there. Still surprised that this proxy has not been scouted yet. Always handy to have a proxy at the other end of the map anytime you are moving in. They do continue to push your attacks forward. A lot of siege tanks mounted up here. Wouldn't mind seeing maybe these 2 siege up as well, as it might help them quite a bit here. Does look like everybody's doing fairly good scouting, making sure they know where the expansions are. Banyo's going all the way around the map here. VoiD's moving around the map as well. He's going to check the bottom area. This is always a nice area to expand right in here, as they are very good good expansions there and hidden by the grass as well for a portion of it there. There they go. Dogs run into each other, so they both realize that there's nothing down here. Dogs did not get onto this side, so they're not entirely sure if there's an expansion there or not. It does look like these voids are moving a bit for Sage, as he does know that army is heading up that direction. These voids over here are just sticking pretty close to that expansion to make sure that they don't lose either one of them. We do also have an overlord up here sitting above the gold, so he is monitoring this as well. I'm assuming he can fly or will fly in and out when he chooses to do so, but with those two turrets there, that will make it a little bit tough to get into that army here. VoiD's going to move up here, is very heavy on the roach count, but of course has no support from his partner here, so if he does move in, the stalker and roach count will take him out quite easily. He is going to move in, might be able to one-shot something. No, he is going directly for the attack here. It backs off accordingly. Exactly what he needs to do is he did not have a chance of taking that army out here. The expansion is finally done for Banyo there, so very well done with Banyo. Let's see what he's got here. He has gone layer technology, does have the macro hatch up at the same time, does not have any layer buildings yet, so I'm not entirely sure which units he's electing to go with here. Take a look at the production tab. Basically using the layer for upgrades, it looks like, as he is starting to get level 3. I believe that was level 3 anyways. It is... Oh no, sorry, that is our roach movement. My bad. Very bad on the icons there. I do apologize. So he is getting the roach movement speed there, so very well done here. Banyo does have a fairly good count there. We are getting a lot of upgrades out of both teams here. That's what I like to see. Sage is now moving into a bit of Templar, it does look like. And we do have the missile attack going down for our good man of VoiD there. So he will probably be going with a roach, I would imagine, or might stick with the... might stick with some hydras here. We'll have to see what he decides to do here. Doesn't have anything on the map as of yet, so not entirely sure if he's going to get into layer technology here or just stick with a straight roach build, but we will find out pretty soon. Combat shield just finishing up for a good man. Gizmo is a little bit late on getting combat shield, but to each their own. That is quite fine. Look at the tank count. Wow, Gizmo, this is insane. Doesn't have any upgrades for the tank, but he sure as heck does have a lot of tanks. Does have 1-1 on his Marines so far, so very well done there. So they are both pretty even in bases. VoiD's just getting his up here. So it does look like the team of GyTm will get a little bit ahead as far as the macro game goes. They did have theirs going at the same time. Banyo really hasn't done anything with his expansion here, so it hasn't been mining at all. So I would say they're both fairly even here. We can take a look at the income count if you want here. We do have 13, which matches the 11 basically. So not much of an increase, but GyTm does have a bit of a lead there. We'll give that to them for sure. We do have them chasing down the army here. All these roaches go. Good blink by Sage. Very well done there as he does blink in there and get another roach or two killed there. We do have quite a few Templars getting stuck in between all the roaches there, so he does have a fairly good temper count. Wow, 6 Templars on the field here, so we could see some storm happening once they do choose to move in here. They finally scout out that proxy pylon. They do knock that down there, so there will be no more quick reinforcing units for Sage here. They stick to the vision tower as they plan on making a big push here, it does look like, as they're all going to meet up and rally at this vision tower, so they'll know exactly when the other army moves out, if they do get out before they choose to attack, as they do own both vision towers here. And we are sticking with the heavy roaches here. Wow, we do have a ping over here. I'm not entirely sure what we're pinging for. Maybe to point out there's a gold expansion there. I can't imagine so, or maybe they were scared the opponent was there. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe you just tell them to expand there, as Sage is going to knock down all that to the gold expansion here. Wow, what a heavy roach build. 36 roaches out of Banyo here to the only 10 roaches out of VoiD, and we do have 32 Marines and 19 tanks. That is probably one of the highest tank counts I have ever seen, as that is coming out of Gizmo with that amount of tanks there. So very well done. The only thing I would like to see is maybe some upgrades on those tanks. He does have the third out, is also making another command center to set up his 4th base here. So wow, Gizmo is a very good player. We are pinging up here. Does look like Sage is pinging away here, basically explaining where all the expansions are, or maybe he was pinging up there so they do check those expansions just in case the other team has moved to them. All these guys are heading into very macro heavy game. Now the roaches are moving up for Banyo. Sage is coming in the back here. This is going to be a great big push out of these guys here. They're going to push in here. VoiD is lining up there. They do a scan. Do know Sage is there. All these roaches is way too much for VoiD to deal with here. Sage is kind of on the outside here, not really moving in to help out yet. There he goes. Now they combine the armies here. That amount of stalkers is very scary, as he does have 25 stalkers on the field. They do have a lot of sieges, but unless these guys move into the siege fire, it's not going to do a lot of good. He is moving in. He does know there's something down there. Does Banyo. He's getting all sorts of drone kills here, so very well done for him. He's going to move down. That expansion will go down. Should be no contest here. Finally, these sieges are coming out. They have siege in the middle. They might catch GYTM coming out of here. So that is very possible here, as they do get all that taken out, including the larva here. Now, depending which way they go, if they do head back to try and get that vision tower, they're going to figure out that those tanks there do have some Vikings on the field. I'm not too sure why we have Vikings, as they have not seen any sign of air units out of GYTM, but fair enough. Maybe they just really like Vikings. Who knows here? But like I say, wow, look at the temper count. Wow, 9 Tempers on the field now. Of course, they are very handy for the Storm, as well as if he does choose so, he can warp him into Archons as well. So we do have Banyo here hiding, so nobody can find him here. We are getting the army counts very big. He is backing out there. Just a lot of Marines there. They're going to get out of there. Does use Blink. Oh, right into the tank fire. Wow, that hurt a lot. Sage is scratching his head and wondering what in the hell he just ran into. That was a lot of tanks that blew him away there. They're getting the double ping here from Sage again. He does love to ping this map, and this tank count is just ridiculous. There's no way a ground army is moving in on that. They're maybe going to try the other side at this point in time, as they do know where all the tanks are positioned. So very smart move to get over here. Wouldn't mind maybe seeing an observer out or something, so they can kind of keep an eye on what's going on down at the other end of the map here. Banyo is moving all the way down here. He's up to 55 roaches. Wow, 27 stalkers for Sage here. So very high army count for both these guys. 176 to 132 for Sage and Banyo. At the other end here, we do have a 195 for Ghyzmo, and that's not a surprise. By far, I would determine him the best out of that team. He's a very good player. If we take a look at our Zerg VoiD, he is at 86. Wow, he is just decimated. Not entirely sure why he is so low. He hasn't really got an expansion up at the same time. Food count should be higher. Sage is going to move in. He should basically 4 or 5 shot that there. There it goes. It does get knocked down. Banyo's helping out here. 1 siege tank's over here. He'll 1-shot that, no problem. They're going to knock down this planetary fortress pretty quick here. 3 shots, it looks like. Boom, there it goes there. Very well done by them there. Here comes the attack. All these sieges are going to get sieged up. Ultralists are on the field for VoiD here. This could be deadly here. Good storm. Very good storm by Sage here. Big attack going on here. None of the roaches can get in there, unfortunately. Very good storm still, but just too many sieges there. They really can't engage us. They might be looking to get into air, as it is going to be really hard to engage that army here. They're going to try it again here. Here we go. A lot of those stalkers going down. Wow, he does blink out of there. Very well done, but did knock him down to 16 now. Wow, so did get the stalker count down. Did lose some sieges. He is down to 19 sieges, but now we have 5 ultralists on the field and 8 roaches on the field. So this is getting a little bit scary, and I just thought that GYTM was that far ahead, but at this point in time, it does look like they are starting to come back at the bottom end of the map here. They're going to chase them down here. Those roaches are hightailing it out there. Sage is standing up there as well. I'd have to imagine he's going to move pretty quick once they do see these tanks. There they go. The guy taking the Ex-Naga tower did get killed. Oh no, this could be deadly here. He does get sieged up. Oh, takes out a couple more, or at least one went flying there. There's his body right there. We do have Banyo. He is hiding his arse in the little grass there. We do have... Wow, we have 6 medevacs. Not much to heal medevacs, so they have a fairly easy job of flying around and healing a whopping 5 units. Here we go. We do have all of these roaches are burrowed here, so this could be a pretty good surprise if these tanks do move in unseized. Is going to be hopefully the key, and that would really be the only way they're going to knock these tanks down easily. Otherwise, that is a force to be reckoned with. He does have the 1-1 upgrade, so it's finally getting upgrades on those tanks, so very well done. Do have the 2 upgrades on the armor for Banyo, and we do have the 2 and 2 ground armor and ground weapons for Sage here, so very well done for him as well. We do have a bunch of dogs scouting around for Banyo, making sure nothing else is happening on the map here at the other expansions. He will run into this expansion here, should be able to knock it down, or at least get a cancel on it here. Nobody's wanting to move. Tanks are finally unsieging. Now, whether or not they move into these roaches, it will be very deadly, especially... Oh, there's the scan. So you now know that the roaches are buried there. Now, if he does siege up there, I would have preferred he siege maybe a little bit closer, knowing there's no units there. He is going to lose some of these here, but like I say, if he had a siege up here, he really could have been devastating to those amount of roaches. He knew nothing was here. He did know Sage was there, but could have at least moved up quite a bit closer there and at least got shots off at everybody here. Sage is moving out of there. He doesn't want no part of that. That's for darn sure. If we take a look up here, it does look like all this Marine Marauder army has found Banyo's expansion here. They're going to knock that down. Another ping for Sage over there. All the roaches are moving out. They're going to try and protect that expansion here. Those tanks are just out of position, really not doing any sort of protection at all. We are getting some Hellbats are in there as well. They're going to get knocked down quite easily here. Too little, too late for Banyo. He is going to move into tank part. Not a good idea here. All these roaches could go down here. That's just too many tanks. Wow, not a good decision at all. Does manage to save a few of them, but very poor decision or very bad luck, whichever you want to call it. That really did hurt him. Do have a lot of immortals. Good choice by Sage. That's a very good counter. If you're not going to go air, definitely get the immortals out, as they will absorb that tank fire like no other. We'll take a look down here at the other end here. We'll see whether or not we have anything other than the Ultralisk here. No, it just looks like we're sticking Ultra. So 7 Ultralisks on the field for VoiD here. Let's take a look at where he's hiding those Ultras. They are all standing way over here. So we do have a Roach and a Ultra build there. I still wouldn't mind seeing air units come out of one of these two, either go to the Mutas or the Voids with one of them, while the other one takes care of the ground, as they do know the other army isn't really pushing that hard. They seem to be steady at the top of the map and don't really want to move in, but it does look like now they're starting to get a little bit of aggression on the map here. But like I say, also that immortal choice by Sage was a very good choice as well if you're not going to go air. They are going to back into the tank fire there, back into their own tank, sorry, and sit there for a little bit here. Sage is starting to make a move down the right side of the map there. Looks like his partner Banyo is going to follow that up here. Does look like Sage is going to move down into here, where he will find a couple expansions. They really need to take him out, but he is going to run into this big army here, so that it will be a fairly stalemate almost with the amount of immortals there. Here we go. It will be tons of immortals on ton of Ultralisks here. Immortals are going to take him out quite easily there, actually. That was a little bit more uneven than I thought it would be. There, I'll go. Very well done by Sage. Good choice with the immortals. Forget listening to me in the air. Let's go immortal, buddy. Wow, very well done. Does knock a lot of them down here. Here we go. Now they're realizing they got to start moving here. They can't sit back this long here. So Gizmo's moving up. He sieges up again. They're going to try and bait some people into this here. See if they can bait any of the units into it here. Sage is moving across the map here. VoiD really doesn't have anything left at this point in time. So he can only rely on Gizmo, and Gizmo can only do so much. Does Gizmo push forward, or does Gizmo come back to help? Gizmo doesn't look like he's doing too much. Really needs to decide one way or the other, as Sage is going to walk through all this here, basically able to one-shot anything with that amount of immortals on the field here. Do have a lot of drones getting out of there. There's a lot of dogs for VoiD here, so VoiD is falling behind now. He's going to come down here, run into this expansion here. We'll be able to knock that down quite easily. Here we go at the very top here. He is going to try and knock down Banyo. We're almost getting into a one-on-one battle, as Banyo is pretty much out of RB units too. So is VoiD. Is basically Sage and Gizmo with the huge armies at this point in time there. He does knock down both these expansions. This one should go down with a one-shot almost. And they do, it takes about two and a bit there. So very well done. Up here, the sea tanks are slowly moving in. They're going to be really hard to deal with because they're going to be tough to move in on. Those immortals will be able to absorb that damage, but whether or not there'll be enough of a meat shield to get in close enough to start melting those tanks, we will soon find out. Tanks are really moving down here now. They're scanning everywhere, so they know exactly what's there. Make sure nothing's burled. They're going to get right into here. Sage and Banyo are teaming up here. They're trying to get back here. You have a big attack happening down here. Banyo has moved a lot of dogs in here. Took a lot of SCVs in the expansion here. There goes this expansion here. Does need to get them sieged up. If Sage can get in there, this might be devastating, because the tanks are not ready for this. Sage is right in there. Very good blink. That could be the sickening move of the game there. Wow. Very good move to get in there. None of these tanks are sieging, as it might be a good move. All the units are pretty close, but they would be getting some shots off here. It is tank on Immortal, and Immortals are going down. There's too many tanks. Wow, underestimating that tank army. Wow. That is a very big tank army with the 1-2 to the 3-3. So very good upgrades by Sage. Just too much of an overwhelming army by Gizmo. They're going to push in at this point in time. This could be scary. Sage is down to 4 Immortals at this point in time, to the 14 Roaches with Banyo. Does have some Templars, does drop the Storms down, trying to get as much kills as they can here. Wow, that army is just devastating by Gizmo. Let's take a look here. He is sitting on 138 army still, so very well done. And hasn't even got them in 3-3. 2-2 has just finished, so he is now at 2-2. Dogs are moving out for VoiD. He is at 2-3 of an army here. We do have Banyo sitting at 3-1, and we do have Sage sitting at 3-3. Yes, he's still 3-3. I guess he wouldn't go down, would you? He's at 3-3. So very well done. Trying to blink out of there. Hasn't given up yet. A lot of these cannons are going to take all these down. But pretty much mined out the gold mineral field at this point in time. Is sitting on a fair bit of minerals, but really needs to find some more income here, as he is starting to get mined out here, but does have this fully saturated base here, or at least could be fully saturated pretty darn quick here. Banyo's moving out a bit here. These tanks are just getting scary as they keep moving in closer and closer, and they're just so hard to engage. One of the hardest units to figure out how to engage if you're not going air. Here they go. They're going to move right in here. This could be scary if he sieges right at this point in time, as they will protect a very big area. Here they go. Immortals are trying to get down there. Mortals are doing their work here. They're taking out tank by tank here as they can here. A lot of sieges here. Immortals are going to do the damage that they can here. They're slowly knocking them down. Very well done with the Immortals here. Have almost knocked down every single tank. Roaches are coming in the backside. They're going to clean up the tanks. Very good defend by Team TY. What are they called again? GyTm. Very good defend by them here. There's some more storms going down. Banyo should be able to clean this up here. We do have a little bit more of Marines up here. Those Immortals will clean that up here. So they do fend that off quite well. So very well done. And in the end here, let's see what they could turn out to. The 4 Immortals, these 3 Stalkers, 2 Templars, with the 13 Roaches and 13 Dogs. Only 11 Marines, 1 Marauder, and nothing for VoiD. So they're coming out way ahead here. Dogs are taking out Gizmo, who's lucky not to fly that command center off. Not entirely sure why. Gizmo's retreating with all his medevacs here. Here comes all those dogs down the field here. They're going to get into the base here, and they will start massacring all these SCVs if they don't turn on them. SCVs could really start attacking right now. Might be able to take out the rest of those dogs. Not too sure if they would with the upgrades, but we do have the Marine cleanup army here anyway, so the Marines will clean that up quite easily here. Sage is now moving down across the map. He has elected to go with the Archons, so has turned all his Templars into Archons here. You're getting a great big drone transfer here as this hatchery is trying to finish up here. Now we are starting to get all combined up here. Still does have a lot of Templars there, so has a lot of option for Storm. They should be able to take this out or at least get a cancel out of it. Oh, he does get the cancel. I was going to say he doesn't have a lot of minerals, so really could use that cancel. And down here, yes, very good pinging by Red. Banjo is pinging away here. He is pinging. They do really need to get rid of this gold here, as that has really hurt them here. They're starting to amass a bit of an army going to the Hellbat / Marine army. Not a bad choice. Sage is retreating. Banjo's retreating. Here they're going to run to the army. I would imagine Sage is going to turn around here, or he might just leave his partner in the wind. His partner did have enough, though. They did not want to engage that, so Gizmo is going to retreat on there. Sage is turning back around there, a little bit slow on the ball, but he's coming back down the map here. They are back to combine. Banyo is regenerating some of that health as he is burrowed there. There is the observer for Sage, so very well done there. They're getting in there. This should be pretty much cleaning up of Gizmo's army here. This could be big trouble here. They do get a good storm, very good storm. Wow, pretty much massacring that army here. They're going to get rid of this expansion for again here. VoiD's finally given up on it. Said, forget it. I'm tired of expanding. Both of them leave the game. Very well done by GyTm. My condolences to the bottom team of VoiD and Gizmo. Congrats, boys. Thank you for the new submission. Hope to see more out of you. I will leave you with these parting words. If you're drinking from the wrong cup and you're using the proper straw, don't get the Big Mac because the IDE cable's not there. Thank you so very much for watching. Appreciate everybody. Send your replays to tractorchute@gmail.com. You be good. Don't hurt nobody. Peace.